In the town of Villisca, Iowa, the 9th of June 1912, one of the most disturbing crimes took place at the Moore's home. The Villisca Axe murders, as they would later be known, sent shockwaves through this tight-knit community. The Moore family, comprised of Josiah B. Moore, age 43, his wife Sarah, née Montgomery, 39, and their 4 children, Herman Montgomery, 11, Mary Catherine, 10, Arthur Boyd, 5, and Paul Vernon, 7. On that night, young Mary Catherine Moore had invited her friends Ina May, 8, and Lena Gertrude Stillinger, 12, to spend the night at the Moore residence. They then went to the Presbyterian Church, where they participated in the Children's Day program, an event coordinated by Sarah. They went home to the Moore's place at 9:30 p.m., arriving between 9:45 and 10 p.m. The next morning, June 10, 1912, a neighbor, Mary Peckham, began to worry as she noticed the Moore family had not attended to their usual chores. They had chickens that were still cooped up, and normally at this time of the morning, they would be let out and fed. Mary knocked on the Moore's door, but there was no response. She turned the doorknob, but it was locked. Very worried, she reached out to Ross Moore, Josiah's brother. Ross was in a panic when he heard the news and attempted to make contact but received no response. He went to his brother's home, unlocked the front door, and cautiously entered. Opening the guest bedroom door, he was confronted by a sight that would scar him for years to come. The lifeless bodies of Ina and Lena Stillinger lay on the bed. The horror prompted Ross to call Henry "Hank" Horton, Villisca's primary peace officer. Upon arrival, Horton's search uncovered a nightmare beyond imagination. The entire Moore family and the 2 Stillinger girls had been brutally murdered, with the murder weapon chillingly identified as an axe belonging to Josiah Moore. Medical examination later revealed that the murders had occurred between midnight and 5 a.m. Spent cigarettes found in the attic suggested the killer or killers had patiently waited there, biding their time. The horror continued to the master bedroom, where Josiah and Sarah Moore slept. It was a gruesome trail of violence. The small town of Villisca was thrust into shock and fear, giving rise to numerous suspects. One of the suspects was a man named Reverend George Kelly, an English-born traveling minister. His peculiar history and eerie connection to the events raised suspicions, although his confession during the trial failed to convince the jury. The investigation took another dark turn in 1914 when Kelly was arrested for sending obscene material through the mail. Although authorities speculated about his involvement in the Villisca murders, no concrete evidence were found. Kelly's subsequent acquittal further muddied the waters of the already complex case. Frank Fernando Jones, a Villisca resident and Iowa state senator, also faced suspicion, fueled by rumors of a strained business relationship with Josiah Moore and an alleged affair. Another theory implicated William "Blackie" Mansfield, hired by Senator Jones to carry out the murders. These murders had similarities to the axe murder in Colorado Springs. Detective James Newton Wilkerson believed Mansfield was a cocaine-addicted serial killer responsible for a series of axe murders, including the Villisca tragedy. However, pressure from Jones led to Mansfield's release, despite his suspicions. Amid the web of suspects, Henry Lee Moore, an unrelated suspected serial killer, emerged. Striking similarities between his crimes and the Villisca murders fueled suspicions of a common axe-wielding perpetrator. Yet, the case remained unsolved. In 2017, The Man from the Train by Bill James and Rachel McCarthy James examined the Villisca murders as part of a larger series attributed to a single serial killer, Paul Muller. The case, however, is still unresolved. Villisca, Iowa, now hosts the legacy of the Villisca Axe Murder House. Purchased in 1994, it serves as a tourist attraction for those intrigued by history and horror. The house, restored to its 1912 condition, allows brave visitors to stay overnight, with many reporting eerie paranormal experiences. The unsolved mystery persists, echoing through the halls of the Villisca Axe murder house.